Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to go ahead and replace the rear brake pads on my FX, which are going to be these right here. I do have the sport brakes because I went ahead and replaced mine. I used to have the base model ones and I upgraded to the Akebonos for better stopping, but also because it looks better, and the brake pads are going to be different from your base. So these are the type of brake pads that you want to have. As you can see, the holes are on the top, versus your other brake pads are going to look a little bit different, where it doesn't really have holes, but instead it has like a, I guess it goes into like the little bracket and it just slides in. As where this, you got to remove the pins in order to slide it in and put the pins back in place, as where the base ones doesn't have pins. So keep that in mind when you're picking up brake pads. They are going to be different depending on what you have. So because we have the sport ones, we're going to go ahead and use these. This applies to like the 370Z as well. Technically, any INFINITI and Nissan that has the BBK has to use these type of brake pads. So this process that we're going to go through and replacing it is going to be the same for a lot of those type of vehicles. I'm also going to tell you guys a little bit more information on how you can check to see if your brake pads need to be replaced. There's the obvious one, which is visually inspecting them. If you see that they're low, then you need to go ahead and replace it, especially if this line that's like in the middle right there is like almost to the bottom and there's no more, then you know you got to replace it. But there is a few other ways that you can actually tell. So let's go ahead and jump into the video right now. Now, another way you can tell if you need to go ahead and replace your brake pads are if you are at a stop and you accelerate the car or push the car fairly quickly and the brake light turns on, then that means that you have low fluid. When you have low fluid, it's an indicator that your brake pads are running low or that you have a leak. But most commonly it's going to be that your brake pads are low. Another way would be like if you hear screeching coming from the rotor, because there's a pin on the brake pads that starts scratching the rotor when they're too low, and that's another great indicator that they're extremely low. But right now I'm going to try to push the car from a stop, see if that does anything, and I'll show you guys. I know it does it on mine because I've seen it done multiple times. See how the brake light turned on right there? And then it went away. But let's go ahead and jump right into the video and show you what I picked up. So that's how you pretty much check to see if you need to go ahead and replace your brake pads. Very straightforward. The cool thing is that they did provide new hardware, which I don't think I'm going to use. I will most likely use the existing one that I already have, because I have heard rumors and issues with, you know, new hardware, especially if it's not OEM, having problems with it, making noise. So I'm planning on keeping mine if they're still in good condition, just replacing the brake pads. And you do need some grease to go ahead and add on the outside portion, not the inside. Never put anything on here but the outside of the brake pad. We need to add grease so it doesn't make as much noise when it's contacting it. So let's go ahead and jack up the FX, remove the wheels, and then go from there. So now you want to go ahead and remove these pins that are right here. These cute little tweezers that I'm going to use to take it out with. As you can see, this one's out. Got another one right here at the bottom. Just like that. Once you remove those, you can go ahead, take the pin out. They have a little bit of life left, but not enough. As you can see, they're completely gone. Now what you want to do is you can go ahead and use the brake pad to push the piston in. So just grab it like that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and remove the cap right here. And then take a note of the brake fluid. It is currently under this line right here. When we replace the brake pads, it should move it up until that line or a little bit higher. So just take a note of that. And I'm not going to add any fluid in there. Alright, so just by doing that, as you can see, I got one piston in, and now I got to push the other one in. The reason I do it that way is because I'm not going to reuse these. If you plan on reusing the brake pads, then you don't want to do that because you're going to damage them. As you can see, there's a line right there already. But you don't want to damage the rotor, and by me doing that, I'm not hitting the rotor, so everything is good. As you can see right there, just need to push that one in now. Alright guys, so now I want to show you that the brake light does not turn on anymore. Now when I push the car, it has completely gone away. I already pushed it once, but just to show you guys, I'm going to go ahead and push it right now. And as you can see, it didn't turn on anymore. So even just that slight difference of replacing the rear ones pushed the brake fluid just up enough to get it not to turn on anymore. So that's how you can tell. Again, if you need to go ahead and place your brake pads because they are running pretty low. I don't have to do the front right now because I know when I inspected them, when I installed them the first time, they were still pretty good. They had a lot of life left. It was just the rear ones that were pretty bad. As you can see, it's super easy to go ahead and replace the brake pads on a sports INFINITI or Nissan. Very straightforward. It just has pins that hold everything in. As you saw, I literally did that within like a few minutes of taking off the pins in the wheel and everything. So if you want to go ahead and do this, it's super easy. And the front is actually the same exact thing. It's just a bigger caliper. The front calipers are a 4-piston, as where the rear are 2. So you just have to go ahead and push in a few more pistons. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Now, I didn't go into detail on why I removed the cap. You actually remove the cap so you can alleviate the pressure, so it's easier to push in the pistons. If you leave the cap on, it's going to have like pressure, and it's going to be a little bit harder to go ahead and push those in. It's not impossible to push them in, but it is a little bit more difficult. You will see the difference once you try to push them in with the cap on versus off. Highly suggest taking them off. But other than that, that is pretty much it. The base model brakes are going to be different. They are not the same calipers and or brake pads. I actually have one right here that I can show you really quick. And then just in case you have the base model brakes, the front and the rear are also pretty much the same, except the front ones are 2-piston, rear ones are 1-piston. And for these right here, it's super simple. These right here, you just gotta pop these off. Once you loosen it, then this can move up forward like that. Take off the brake pads by pushing them out, pushing them back in, adding grease. And as you can see, these are still in good condition, but I had replaced mine for the Akebonos. And then once you're done, put it back in, put the bolt back in over here, and it's that simple. So even the base ones are easy as well. They designed these pretty easy to be able to like replace brake pads and stuff. So it's cool designs. I think they are both pretty simple. Like these, you gotta actually break these loose. So I feel like these might be like a little bit more difficult.
as where the Akebonos, you just got pins that you got to remove and, you know, put back in. But don't forget to go ahead and put the little pins back in, because if you don't, they will just slide out. Once you are done doing your brakes, make sure you go ahead and inspect them. Make sure you put the pins back in, because if you don't, they will slide out. Hopefully this helps you guys out if you're interested in doing this yourself. This is honestly like one of the easiest jobs you can do. The dealer will easily upcharge you a lot. I'm not even playing with you. I think they charge you like over $500 to $600 to replace the brake pads. The brake pads alone, just the rear, I spend about 20 to 30 bucks. Just the rear ones. Now, if you want to get the front ones, add another 20 to 30 bucks for that. If you do get the rotors, they are a little bit more pricier. I think they're like 100 and something each. So if you get rotors and or if you get the brake pads, the cost may vary. But again, for the dealer, they might charge you even more than that, because they're gonna want to charge you maybe like $300 for each rotor, where you can get them somewhere else for like 100 bucks or less. There's even bundles available out there where you can buy like all 4 rotors and the brake pads included for about 200 to 300 bucks versus spending like over $1,000 at a dealership. Well worth it in my opinion to try it yourself at least. Very simple. All you need is a jack, a few hand tools, a wrench, you know, sockets, and you'll be good to go. Nothing very difficult at all. But that is going to conclude the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.